Oh, hello. Welcome to the 2013 Hundie Challenge. Today we're going to be discussing Brand New Day by Cliff Huxtable. Dee-doo-dee-doo-doo, dee-doo-doo-doo-doo-dee-doo-doo-doo, dee-doo-dee-doo-doo, dee-doo-doo-doo-dee-doo-doo-doo. Brave New World was a book that I was supposed to read in high school, and I did not. It didn't stop me from acing the test. It didn't stop me from being awarded the top English student in my high school, but I did not actually read it. I didn't remember why I hadn't read it until I started rereading it for this challenge, but I just found it kind of insipid. I should probably talk about what's good about it first, because I don't want to shit on these people. These are the classics. These are the books that are considered the best ever written, and there's a reason for that. And one thing that's amazing about Brave New World, and I'm not going to lie about this, is it was written in the 30s. And it still seems like something that we could be looking forward to in our future. It's kind of incredible that 80 years ago, Huxley was writing about things that are still considered science fiction to us. You know, cloning humans, perfecting behavior, forming like the world state. You could almost imagine this as a prequel to Star Trek, in the sense that the sort of the perfect human society of Star Trek was perfected in this way. So as a work of futurism, as a work of predicting the future, it's amazing. And a lot of the things that Huxley predicted in the 30s have come true. There's the drug, Soma, which is basically, we wouldn't even find it strange today because we medicate so many of our problems away. So many of our children are on, Vicodin, Ritalin, and we all more or less take some kind of drugs to take the edge off. He was in the 30s using this as a metaphor for, I don't know if it was a metaphor for anything, but people wouldn't have been medicating all their cares away in the 30s as we do now. So a lot of the things that he predicted came true. A lot of them seem like they still might come true. And so, in that sense, it's a very impressive work. What I didn't like about it was primarily as a work of fiction. I found it lacking, and as a warning sign or a portent of the future, I found it lacking, because everybody's kind of fundamentally happy, and there's kind of no consequences for anybody. The main characters, who it turns out Bernard Marx is just this horrible, just conniving. You start out like you're supposed to sympathize with him because he feels a little bit out of step in the Brave New World. But it turns out that as soon as he has the opportunity to exploit another person and raise his own station in life, he does so. And the consequences for him doing that are nothing. He gets to go off to an island somewhere and live, because society really is just that happy. Now you compare this to 1984, which I understand is always, the part and parcel. People compare Brave New World 1984. I think that's what we did in high school, except I hadn't read the one. But compare it to 1984. What happens to Winston Smith? Well, he doesn't conform, and he's forced to conform. It's terrifying. What happens in Brave New World to Bernard Marx? Nothing. He gets, he gets a better life for being a jack-off. And then you have John the Savage, who's this savage that they pulled out of an Indian reservation. This is one of the things that I didn't like about the book, was the way that this was structured. I always thought that the Savage Reservation was just going to be people the way we live today. I thought it would be like, they're going to go to the Savage Reservation, and it's going to be your average, English or American person living in a van, and they're going to find that really offensive. But it wasn't. It was what we conceive of as tribalistic people today. They were snake handlers and Indians, and John just so happened to be the son of a regular Brave New World English woman who had somehow gotten caught up in this. So John's an outsider in the Brave New World, and he's an outsider in the Indian reservation. And then in the end, he kills himself. Sorry, spoiler alert. It's an 80-year-old book, but spoiler alert, whatever. In the end, he kills himself, and I'm supposed to sympathize with him? I just don't care, because he was an outcast wherever he was. Like, what was your point? What was the through line, Huxley? Like, what were you saying? You know, we have outcasts that still commit suicide in regular society today. So if you're an outcast, you're going to be an outcast. I thought that the ending was much weaker than the ending of 1984, where it was basically like, if you're going to be an outcast, you're going to be made to conform. You're going to be made to love Big Brother. In the Brave New World, it's like, well, if you're an outcast with serious emotional problems that's going to commit suicide, you're going to commit suicide. And if you're an outcast without severe emotional problems, we're just going to let you off the hook. And then everything will be fine. So, you know, as a work of futurism, A+, it's astonishing. I understand why it's on this list. As a work of literature, it didn't really catch me in the gut, if you want to say that. Not a terrible book. Not a terrible book by any means. Not really, I thought, lived up to its reputation. Read 1984 instead. That's the bottom line. Next week, or next time, we don't doing this weekly. I believe I actually have to read 2 books a week to stay on track. Next time, we will be looking at The Sound and the Fury. Thanks for tuning in.